The Tomahawk long-range missile has been making headlines in recent weeks, from Washington all the way to Moscow and Beijing. The request for approval to purchase and deliver these weapons was reportedly made by the Ukrainian president during a meeting with Donald Trump on the sidelines of the recent UN summit. It now appears the decision has been made, although consultations are still needed on how they will be used and their specific targets.
I've sort of made a decision, pretty much, if you consider, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them.
Yes.
You know, where are they sending them, I guess. I'd have to ask that question. That war should never have started, would have never started. Such bad judgment was used there. I think on both sides, by the way. But nobody looks good with the war with Russia and Ukraine, nobody.
In recent days, the possibility of the Americans agreeing to Ukraine's purchase and use of them has become increasingly real. This was evidenced by the panicked statements of the Kremlin, which made terrifying tirades against the West. Putin himself announced the transfer of the missiles would mean a breakdown in relations between Moscow and Washington. Issues such as discussions on the supply of new weapon systems to Ukraine, including long-range and high-precision systems such as Tomahawks, were raised. I have already said that this will lead to the destruction of our relations, or at least the positive trends that have emerged in them. These positive trends were temporary, at a time when the Americans gave the Russians a chance to end the conflict on quite favorable terms. Now, however, in the phase of continued Russian escalation, it seems that Washington has taken a completely new course. Hence, the already approved decision to provide Ukraine with data on targets located deep inside Russia. This heavily implies the likely transfer of Tomahawks. The Russian Federation's recent actions, such as the violation of NATO airspace by aircraft and drones, are likely the impetus for the United States to share intelligence with Ukraine. Added to this are consultations between leaders. The president of Finland is on his way to Washington and has already announced he will provide the Americans with very specific information on the situation both on the Ukrainian front and on NATO's eastern flank.
My message, and in the conversation that I'll have with President Trump on Thursday, we'll look at a lot of the facts on the ground. And I can also bring messages from my recent visit to Kyiv, where I had a chance to have one-on-one conversations with President Zelensky and also get an extensive security briefing of the situation on the battlefield. Then it is, of course, up to the President of the United States to decide what he does with the information.
European commanders are anxiously following the information gathered by intelligence units. According to German intelligence, there is ongoing discussion in the highest circles of the Russian government about a possible attack on NATO countries. This is followed by reports of the expansion of units near the borders of Finland and the Baltic states.
Kamil Trzaska, Republika.